On June 11th and 12th, the final days of McCamey's vacation, Rolando Rios is hired, files as lead attorney, and the federal judge issues temporary orders reseating the recalled council members. The order, put into effect on Friday, cancels the July 14th election. The city would have stopped taking candidate applications on the very next business day, which is Monday. Amazing coincidence or coordinated effort? You can decide for yourself. So what happens now? We can wait for the Department of Justice preclearance. Here's a quote from an attorney who has fought Rios before. The San Antonio lawyer wins because defendants choose to settle. Ask yourself this. When the Department of Justice asks questions about this case, who will be fighting for us? When the Department of Justice makes their recommendation to the 3-judge panel in the District of Columbia, who will decide on whether the recall election counted? And who will keep Mr. Garza, the plaintiff's attorney, from getting everything he wants? What about waiting until November to start another recall? That solution has popped up here and there. But think about this. Who will be in charge of our city manager and city secretary for the next 6 months? Additionally, the city charter is up for review this year. Who will appoint the review board and what will be the recommendations? Recall in November would be a real long shot. Besides, do we as a city want to put ourselves through the turmoil of another recall? Let's say we have them for another 2 years. Then Lopez, Torres, and Gonzalez would come up for re-election again. Let's look at our current infrastructure projects. What about the electric line upgrades we just approved? What about the completion of the nature trail? Sewer lines upgrades over on 15th and again between Avenue U and Avenue V. Lift stations out on 30th Street and Taylor Lane and out at the proposed rail loop. The rail crossing out on U.S. Highway 90. Who will be our representatives taking fair bids, negotiating with TxDOT, the railroad, the FAA, Texas Parks and Wildlife, and CPS Energy? Where will our airport, which is turning a good profit and was the 2009 Airport of the Year, be under their management? I cannot imagine that South Texas Liquid Terminal would even contemplate building the proposed rail loop or even expanding their company. What will Wright Flyers do after their contract was delayed last night? We have it on good authority that buyers have approached Crane Plumbing twice in the last year, but backed out once they understood the current political situation. What company in their right minds would want to come to Hondo? What companies would want to stay? Why do you think Lopez, Torres, and Gonzalez work so hard on term limits for all the city boards? They will be making board appointments for P&Z, for Parks, Downtown Advisory, Library, Construction Board of Appeals, Airport Advisory, and Economic Development. Not to mention they will hold the purse strings for the Chamber of Commerce and many other organizations that rely on the city's funding. If we continue on this path of financial irresponsibility, our bond rating, our ability to borrow money at a decent interest rate will be destroyed when the $3.2 million we had in reserve a year ago is gone. How can we not assume that this will affect our property taxes when the city is in need of additional revenue? As most of you know, a motion was filed last Friday in federal court. This is an attempt to intervene in the lawsuit by voters who signed the recall petition and want their vote to count. The law firm of Bickerstaff, Heath, Delgado, Acosta, LLP was retained, and Robert Heath, a partner in that firm, agreed to represent us. As fiscally responsible people, we decided not to bring him here tonight, but he has prepared a letter we would like to read to you.